What's up, nerds? My name is Steve from Flipping the Nerd, and this is a Halloween Horror Nights 26 Orlando edition preview show. So, one of my, or maybe my favorite thing that I do every single year is I go down to Orlando, Florida, and attend Halloween Horror Nights. For those who don't know what this is, it's basically the ultimate Halloween party. It's a mixture of scare zones, which are actors that scare you within the park itself, shows, and haunted houses, 8 to 9 haunted houses themed, a certain theme for each house. Some of them being franchises and some of them being original houses. It's a really, really good time. There are a lot of awesome horror fans that attend, and it's something that I hope you all get to check out one day because it is a fantastic time. I can't speak for the one in Hollywood. I've only been to the one in Orlando. This will be my 6th year. I started at Halloween Horror Nights 21, which is actually my honeymoon, and I've been going ever since. So what I'm going to do this year for the first time is I'm going to talk about all of the houses, the scare zones, and the events that happen during Halloween Horror Nights. I'm going to rate them 1 to 10. As a preview, what I think they're going to be based off my experiences from previous years, and then when I get back from the trip, I'm going to do a review episode, talk about what I actually saw, and also rate them 1 to 10 to see how accurate I was with my predictions. Of course, all of this is my opinion. I could be totally off compared to what you would think, but you're watching my channel for my opinion, so that's just the way it is. But if you are attending, I would love to know what you thought of these events, or if you're watching before Halloween Horror Nights, I think there's a 2-week buffer between when I post this and when the first night is. Let me know what you think is going to be the best thing. What are you most excited about for this event? So I'm going to start with the houses, because that's really what you go for, is to see all the cool different haunted houses that they do. They're essentially live-in sets with scare actors in them, and most of the time they're incredibly awesome. I love the detail that they put into them. I've seen them in a day during like backstage tours and stuff. It's incredible the amount of thought that they put into these events. So there are 9 houses in Orlando this year. I'm going to go through them, rate them based off what I think it's going to be based on my experience, and we'll see if I'm right. The very first one is based off a franchise I really love. I actually have an autograph from that franchise right here. It is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just an incredible... Actually, there you go. I've him here too. So, Gunnar Hansen, may you rest in peace. Awesome guy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, first house that they announced, I believe. I love this franchise. I think it's a franchise that can translate well into a haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. One of the scariest things at Halloween Horror Nights is, as far as scare actors go, now they don't scare me per se because I know they're actors and I have more fun with it than anything, but having a chainsaw, even though I know it's fake, coming at you is always going to give you a little bit of anxiety. So having Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a franchise, I expect to see a lot of chainsaws, which is loud and throws you off guard. So I think that part of it is going to be really awesome. And I feel that we're going to see a lot of really cool sets. Very scary. The family, the dinner table, the basement. I think this is going to be an incredible house. I think this is going to be freaky. It's going to be creepy. And it's going to be awesome. I'm actually going to rate this an 8 out of 10. I think this is going to translate very well. My concern is when you have a franchise that has kind of a main antagonist, is that they overuse the antagonist or don't know how to use the antagonist properly. I saw that last year with Freddy vs. Jason, which was very disappointing. I've seen it with Alien vs. Predator. I've seen it a few times where there's so many leather faces, like in this example, that it kind of takes away from the fun. As opposed to, which I'm going to get to later, even though there are many Michael Myers in the Halloween house, which is one of my favorite houses of all time, it always felt like it was the same one attacking you, even though obviously it isn't, but the way that they said it made him look like he was just catching up to you room to room, which was fantastic. But nonetheless, I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be an awesome house. 8 out of 10 is my prediction, and I hope I am right. Next one is probably the one I'm most excited about because it's one of my favorite movies of all time as far as in the horror category, and that's The Exorcist. Now, I think The Exorcist is going to make for a really creepy experience. And I love houses that are set, haunted houses that are set within actual houses. They just, because obviously I live in a house, it just makes it more real and more creepy. And the fact that you're walking around a house and all these things are happening just brings up the surreal, the real element and the freaky element for me. My concern with The Exorcist, however, is that most of the movie takes place in the bedroom, and you can't have multiple bedrooms. It would take away the illusion. So I don't know how this could be an extended maze. I guess they can go to, I think it's Africa at the beginning, and maybe I would love to see her come down the stairs, the spider crawl. But there's a limited amount of things that you can see in The Exorcist, so I'm very curious about this one, and I'm a little skeptical. Even though this is what I'm most excited for, I'm gonna rate it probably a 6, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 9 or 10, but I'm a little afraid that there aren't enough locations within the movie, because it's based off the first movie, that will make this over the top. So we'll see. Next up, we have The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has been a house every single year I've been there. And to be honest with you, as much as I am a fan of the show, and I'm a huge fan of the show, the Walking Dead house tends to be in my least favorite every year. They have, zombies I find are so overdone at these things. The locations, there's a couple iconic locations per season, because it's been each season has every year since I've been there. It's kind of low on my, usually I would rate it pretty low as far as my expectations. Season 6 was particularly low on iconic locations, if you ask me, especially eerie iconic locations. But since it's the last year that they have the Walking Dead license, from what I understand, the Walking Dead house is going to be kind of the best of all the seasons. So it's going to start at probably the hospital with the don't open dead inside door, moving on to the farm, and then the prison, and then all that stuff, probably leading up to Negan with the camper at the end. And that excites me more than what the previous years was. As cool as it was to go to Woodbury and seeing the tank thing, the heads in the tank, and seeing the hospital and the farm and all the other terminus I saw, all these different cool locations. I think having the best ones from each season is going to be really awesome. So I'm still gonna give it a low. I'm just gonna give it a 6, just off experience. But I think I might be wrong, and it might be a little bit higher. So we'll see. Halloween 2. Now, Halloween is a great movie, great franchise, obviously. But I was pretty skeptical the first time that this would be a good house. Michael Myers is a great killer, but he's not big in theatrics. He basically just kills you, and it's basically just a woman running around a house. Halloween ended up being one of my favorite houses ever. So that's saying something. It's just the way that they positioned Michael Myers and the way that they recreated the set. It was almost like an exact replica of the set, which I really appreciated. I really, really enjoyed this house. And I even had a moment, and this is the best moment I had of any house ever at Halloween Horror Nights. I was in Laurie's bedroom, and I always kind of look around to see where this character is going to pop out of, kind of prepping myself. It's a little cheap, but I do it anyway. So I looked around. Okay, this is a room that won't have any pop-ups. So I swear to you, I looked in the mirror. There was a mirror there. I was kind of looking at the stuff in the house. I looked down at the bed. I looked back in the mirror, and Michael Myers was right behind me, with and there's lightning going on in the window, and it was like a movie moment. I wasn't freaked out. I actually smiled, and I'm like, that was awesome. So Halloween 2 is a continuation of that house, based off the second movie. I'm excited about it. I think it could be a really great one. I have high hopes. I'm a little afraid that they're going to rehash a lot of the first ones, but I do have high hopes with this one. I'm going to rate it a 7, though, because I'm so afraid it's going to be like the first one, but I think it's going to be awesome nonetheless. Krampus. Krampus is the next house, based off the movie. It's like a Christmas... Sorry, I need to sneeze, but... Okay, Krampus is kind of a Christmassy creature. It takes place all pretty much in one house again. They got these weird enemies in it, like these little monsters. I don't know. I didn't love the movie, to be honest with you. And I know I'm going to get flack for that as a horror fan. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. It just, I don't know. And I love Christmas horror mashups. One of my other favorite houses, it was an original house, was kind of a Christmas horror mashup, and it was an amazing house. So that makes me excited, but I just think this is going to be, I don't know, I just don't see high hopes for this house. I know it's going to end with a giant Krampus and animatronic. They always have that one house that has a giant animatronic at the end. I saw The Thing was like that, American Werewolf in London was like that, and I have a feeling that this will be the one this year. It's going to be a giant Krampus, and it just doesn't scare me. I think it's going to be cheesy. I have low hopes for this one. We'll see if I'm right. I'm actually giving this a 4 out of 10. That's how low of a hope. Despite it being a Christmas theme, which is always fun to see, I just don't think this is going to be a fun house. I think it's going to be empty and soulless. So, we will see. American Horror Story. Love the show. Confuses me as hell. I sometimes don't understand what the hell's going on. They're basing this one on 3 seasons. The first one, The Murder House. The 4th one, Freak Show. And the 5th one, Hotel. I love the first one. Murder House was a good season. Freak Show was disappointing, but I can see how that's going to translate to a good house. Hotel, I don't get at all. I don't know why. I don't see this as being freaky in any way. I don't see it as being fun in any way. So I think this house is going to be hit and miss. This is the biggest house that they're going to have, so they're going to go into it. I think Freak Show is probably going to be the highlight of this house because it's such a visually appealing season. You have all the different stuff. You're going to have the clown, you're going to have all the freaks. I think it's going to be the highlight of it. Hopefully it's in the middle. I think this will be a hit and miss house. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this house, but I don't have high hopes for it. I'm going to go with a 5. I hope I'm wrong. Based off only the seasons they picked, I would have preferred to see a full Freak Show house, to be honest with you. Murder House, again, I don't see what they're really going to show. There wasn't that many visual experiences in the first season, so it remains to be seen, but I am curious to see what they do with it. So those were all the franchise ones: Texas Chainsaw, Exorcist, Walking Dead, Halloween, Krampus, and American Horror Story. Then they have 3 original houses. These tend to be hit and miss, like the franchises. There have been some incredible ones. I think La Lorna, which was like this weird, like Spanish story of a woman drowning her kids, and it was just so creepy because you start in a church with all the coffins of the kids in the front, and there's like these ghost figures watching, and it was just, it's so creepy. I love that house. It was awesome. Like I said, the previous one, there was a Halloween/Christmas one that was awesome. So hopefully these will be good. The first one, Lunatics Playground 3D. You won't stand a chance. So the theme for the whole Halloween Horror Nights 26 is Chance. Chance is basically their version of Harley Quinn. Last year was actually Jack the Clown, which is they always have a host for each season, like a thing. It's like, actually this shirt is it's like a few different hosts that they've had over the years, because last year was the 25th anniversary, so it's kind of a mashup. Jack the Clown was the main host though last year, and this is like his girlfriend, so it's kind of like a Joker Harley thing. Chance gets her chance this year, pardon the pun, and she gets a house, as they usually do, and this is it. Now, every year they also have a 3D house. You might be wondering, how is it? Of course it's 3D, it's in real life. Well, they give you these 3D glasses, and the performers and the scenes tend to be like they, I don't know, it's just like crazy colors, and they do things with lights that make it look kind of expand. I don't know. I never liked the 3D houses, to be honest, so I have really low hopes with this one. I'm actually giving it a 3. As cool as I think Chance is, and I thought it would have been cool to have kind of a crazy circus with her. I'm disappointed that she gets the 3D house because I just don't think it's going to be scary at all. It's just going to be another mishmash of colors and dots and people and like unitards that make them like their clothes shapeshift or whatever it is. It's not really scary. It's never really all that fun, and it makes you a little nauseous. So 3 out of 10. I have low hopes for that one. The other two, Tomb of the Ancients. Tomb of the Ancients is going to be kind of Egyptian / Mayan relics and demons and stuff like that. I really don't know what to expect with this one. It kind of reminds me of what the Mummy ride is, but the Mummy ride is one of my favorite rides at Universal Studios Orlando. So this could be hit and miss. I'm really on the fence with this one, so I'm gonna go halfway at 5. I don't know what to think. That's the problem with these houses. Monsters tend to be less scary than demons. Not demons. Sorry, demons tend to be less scary than people to me. Like ghosts are probably the scariest that they have there. Zombies not so much, but we'll see. It's sometimes the costumes are a little too much. So 5 out of 10 I think is a fair preview number. And the last one, Ghost Town Curse of Lightning Gulch. So this is a western town that had a tragedy. Now it's a ghost town, and there's ghosts and stuff, probably with a bluish hue. I have high hopes for this one. I think this will be a fantastic one. It's going to be creepy. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a cool western setting. I have high hopes for this one. I think it's going to be a 7. And there's not much to say until I actually see it, but I expect a very good house out of this one because I like the western setting. I love the ghosts, and I think it's going to be awesome. So overall, Texas Chainsaw is the one I have the highest hopes for, and Lunatic's Playground 3D is the one I have the lowest chance for, the lowest score for. So we'll see. Is that really the worst house and the best house? We'll see, and I can't wait to go and review them. So last thing I'm going to do, they have scare zones. It's just zones that are outside in the open, between like the ride buildings that have different themes and scare actors that just scare you as you walk to, around shopping, eating, going to the haunted houses and stuff. There are 5 of these. Number 1, A Chance in Hell. So basically, Chance, the clown, and her apparently imprisoned inmates, friends are going to bother you and attack you. I don't think this is going to be that good. I love Chance. I hope I get to see Chance. But usually the main host isn't there. It's just like the minions, which really sucks. The host usually hides a lot, which is ironic. You think she'd be like front and center, but anyway, I think this is going to be pretty poor. Giving it a 3 out of 10. It's just going to be crazy prisoners, really, and I've seen that before, and it wasn't that fun. Next one, Dead Man's Wharf. I think this will be a good one. It's on. There's like a kind of water thing, Universal, and it's going to be on an actual wharf. I think it's going to be well decorated. Probably going to have an abandoned boat and mist and ghosts, and I think this will be a really good one. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I think I don't think the scare actors will be as animated, but I like that. It's going to be more atmospheric than just people trying to scare you. Then we have Vamp 1955. It's basically vampire high school, so it's going to be girls and guys dressed from the 1950s as vampires. I don't have high hopes for this. I don't like vampires. Blame Twilight on that one. I just don't know. I just don't see this being scary or fun or atmospheric. So I'm giving this a 2 out of 10. I really don't expect much out of this. So it can only really go up from there. Banshee's Lair. So Banshee's Lair, they have this bridge that connects two of the. I think it connects. Does it connect like Springfield to where Terminator is? Something like that. It's very usually closed off. So, and they missed it up, and you're going to see these big, giant, like, monsters in the trees and stuff. It's, like, the most wooded area, too, in the park, so they can usually hide and camouflage themselves really well, and that's going to be good. I think it's going to be atmospheric, which I like, so I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10. I think we're going to see the Banshee, and it's just going to be, because it's so tight and atmospheric, I think it could be a good scare zone to walk through. And finally, you have Survive or Die. I think this is a game show theme. I'm not actually super sure which one this one is. Let's see here. Survive or Die. I thought I knew them all by heart, but Survive or Die New York. I'm not actually sure what this is. So I guess it'll be a surprise for when I do the... oh, here it is. Okay. Survive. Oh, they still have last year's thing. Okay, well, whatever. So, we'll see. I think it's a game show type thing where people are on the loose and it's lunatics on the loose. So, not knowing what it is, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Just off the name. That's how I roll. And finally, two different shows in one event because I'm going to it that I'm going to review for sure. Number one, the main show. Every single year they have this show, Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. I go every year. I love it every year. Basically, Bill and Ted make fun of all of the pop culture things that happen over the year. I'm sure they'll make fun of stuff like Stranger Things, Ghostbusters, Suicide Squad, of course, the American politics stuff like Trump and Clinton, and the Olympics, I'm sure, Ryan Lochte, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really funny. It's kind of a dance number with some acting, with some pop culture, with some music, and it's always, always a good time. The guys who play Bill and Ted are always the same two, and they're really, really funny. They're also self-deprecating, which is hilarious. Like last year, they always poke fun at Disney. You know, it's Universal, so people know that that's their biggest competition. And they poked fun at Disney that because Disney's main show at Mickey's Not So Scary is Hocus Pocus, and they're saying like, how stupid are they to take a franchise that we haven't seen in like 30 years and use it as their main show? And then they look at each other like, all right. So it was just like a nice little jab at themselves, but Disney at the same time. It's amazing. If you go to Halloween Horror Nights, I truly think you should make time to see this show. Fantastic, fantastic. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I don't want to give it a 10 because I think there's always room for improvement. But if it's the funniest show I've seen in the 6 years, I will give it a 10 out of 10. But there's always like a couple things I'm like either don't get because I'm old, or I wish they had gone further with certain things, or I'm disappointed that they didn't make fun of something. You know, like if Stranger Things isn't made fun of a little bit, I'll be a little disappointed. You know, just stuff like that, or I think it'll be fun. And the other one is Academy of Villains. So every year they have kind of a sideshow. Last year it was a really cool one. It had Jack the Clown in it, and doing some like crazy killer stuff. It was a fun show. He just killed different people on stage with Chance. It was enjoyable. Not the greatest thing ever, but worth watching. Academy of Villains is a dance troupe, so I think it's just going to be dancing. They were actually on America's Got Talent in the US version. I really liked this group because they're like a horror dance group. I don't particularly like dance groups on American Horror Story, almost America's Got Talent, but because they were a horror one, I kind of rooted for them a little bit, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I don't have high hopes. I don't really love just dance numbers, but let's give it a 5 out of 10. And finally, the Halloween Horror Nights 26th dinner. Every single year they they started last year. So it's a dinner where you get to meet characters, have like a buffet, and just get to chill and get great pictures, and it was fun. I got my best pictures from Halloween Horror Nights come from that dinner. I'll put a few up there. So there was that. I was disappointed that Jack the Clown wasn't there because he's the host. I'm hoping Chance will be there so I get a picture with her. It was their first year, so there were problems. Definitely wasn't a perfect dinner. The organization was a little bad. The way they set up the food was a little bad. The food wasn't that great. But I enjoyed myself enough to try it again this year, thinking they probably learned from what they did last year and improved on it. So, low hopes though. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. But I think there's only room for improvement given that this is their second year. So that's Halloween Horror Nights 26 preview show. So the houses, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 8 out of 10. Exorcist, 6 out of 10. Walking Dead, 6 out of 10. Halloween 2, 7 out of 10. Krampus, 4 out of 10. American Horror Story, 5 out of 10. Lunatics Playground 3D, You Won't Stand a Chance, 3 out of 10. Tombs of the Ancients, 5 out of 10. Ghost Town, Curse of the Lightning Gulch, 7 out of 10. The Scare Zones, Chance in Hell, 3 out of 10. Dead Man's Wharf, 7 out of 10. Vamp 1955, 2 out of 10. Banshee's Lair, 6 out of 10. Survivor Die, 4 out of 10. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure, 9 out of 10. Academy of Villains, 5 out of 10. And Halloween Horror Nights 26 Dinner, 5 out of 10. So hopefully you'll get to watch my review show that I'll post up when I get back. I'm going to have some video and some pictures with that one, more so than this one, because aren't many pictures. I haven't been yet, so it's going to be awesome. Let me know what you think are going to be the best shows. Let me know what you thought, or the best houses. Let me know what, if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights, are you going to Halloween Horror Nights, and whatever you want to talk to me about, just put them in the comments. I'd love to read them. I'm only going to answer when I get back, because I don't really want to spend time answering stuff. I'm on a trip, after all, on vacation, so it's going to be a great time, and if you're going on the first weekend, I'll be there every night the first weekend. Hit me up. I am reading my messages. I'm just not answering them. So hit me up and maybe we'll meet up and I'll just be able to say hi to you. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on